That means it's time to start. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Board member comments. Mr. Sultan.
Once I have nothing. Nice to see everybody again.
Thank you, Mr. Sultan. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just happy Veterans Day to all our veterans. Thank you and your family for your service. And I hope everyone here, staff and board, has a wonderful, happy, and safe Thanksgiving. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Vega.
I just wanted, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I want to take a moment to reflect on the passing of Jay Lambert, and I want to thank members of the board and members of management that showed up yesterday for the service. If many of you don't know, he was probably one of the architects that helped frame both the Blue Plains and the Low Water Agreement decades ago, and before there was even a Loudon Water Broad Run Act. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Brent.
Yeah, I'll just echo those comments and happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Mr. Buffington.
Thank you. Glad to be here and just thankful to all of our hardworking staff for everything that you guys do every day to make Loudon Water such a great place and to accomplish our mission the way that we do. So thank you all.
Mr. Bonfils.
Well, I'll echo all those things, and it's always been a special day, the 11th, and for all the veterans and all the people that have contributed to our freedom. So, so I appreciate all the comments on that, and I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And that's all for today.
Thank you, Mr. Bonfils. Mr. Moody.
Yes, I'd just like to echo the sentiments of the board and just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Moody. Mr. Yed will be here in a few minutes. I also would like to echo what Jack said. It was great to see senior staff there. It was great to see board members there. He was a great man. And, you don't realize somebody's importance until you go listen to people talk about him, which is unfortunate because it's almost like we should have eulogies, maybe 5 years before you pass. Then people have some more respect for you, but he accomplished a lot, and it was amazing to hear the story. So I echo your sentiments, Mr. Vega. We have one more member, Mr. Yudd. We're through with board member comments, but we'd like to see if you have something to say. Good afternoon.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. That concludes the board member comments. General manager's report, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. A couple updates for you today. On October 28th, Loudon Water staff joined members of the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors and Loudoun County staff for a community meeting regarding the Peonian Springs and Waterford proposed joint water and sewer project. The project has gained a lot of interest in the local community and was very well attended. Chair Randall and Supervisor Kirschner led the meeting, and county staff shared a presentation summarizing the status and scope of the project. The audience was then provided with the opportunity to ask questions. Answers were provided at the meeting, and Chair Randall committed to providing additional information via a set of FAQs that will be developed from questions that were shared in writing. It was a spirited meeting facilitated very effectively by Chair Randall. We believe it was a very helpful step in the process, one that has a long road to go. We will continue to share more updates as the process moves forward. Loudon Water will have a booth at the Community on Purpose event on Saturday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Claude Moore Recreation and Community Center. The event celebrates neighbors, friends, and local changemakers in our community during a day dedicated to giving back and strengthening Loudoun County. I'm happy to share 2 recent award announcements that recognize Reservoir Park. The 2025 American Institute of Architects Northern Virginia Award of Excellence in Civic Culture Architecture was awarded, and to Studio 27 Architecture. Reservoir Park was cited for its Welcome Center, crew boathouse, and pavilion features that connect ecological health, human health, and recreation. And then Nelson Bird Waltz submitted and was awarded the Merit Award from the Virginia chapter of the American Society of Landscape Architects, which recognizes creativity and functional solutions that achieve project purpose and exhibit a high standard of achievement in such a manner deserving statewide recognition. Through October, we have 4,231 ERCs. 2,339 of those are from data centers. Our holiday schedule, Loudon Water will close for a half a day on Wednesday, November 26th, and will be closed all day Thursday, November 27th, and Friday, November 28th, in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. And a reminder that next Wednesday, November 19th at 8 a.m. is your joint Finance and CIP Committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Brian. Jewel, do we have anyone sign up for public comment?
Yes, sir. Mr. William Stewart has signed up to speak and he will have 3 minutes.
All right, well, Mr. Stewart, I think we have a microphone over here for you. Welcome. And on behalf of the board, pardon me, no, we just have 3 minutes to speak. The board hasn't had a chance to review it. We haven't even seen it, so. Can you talk your way through it?
There's so much detail and engineering aspects to this that it'd be difficult to talk to, so, I guess I will talk to it more directly the next time.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. Do your best. We appreciate it.
Okay. So Chapter 3 of the Loudoun County Comprehensive Plan, under the sustainability section, quote, recognizes the need for detailed, systematic approach to solve existing and potential future water or wastewater problems in the county, unquote. Recently, a hydrogeologist and water resources engineer published an extensive assessment of groundwater in Loudoun County, a link to which you will find in your inbox from earlier today. A short quote from the findings: groundwater conditions in Loudoun County have significantly worsened over the past several decades. Groundwater as a water supply is no longer sustainable, as the water table has slowly declined and several droughts have caused many wells, springs, and ponds to dry up. The increasing frequency and severity of drought conditions has negatively impacted the water supply and is expected to increase in the future, unquote. This project team is formulating recommended actions for county and town regulators to support a sustainable water supply. Now, what I was going to be showing was a simulation of a water table impact caused by 31 homes at the Crest and Waterford due to 4,500 gallon per minute extraction rate after 1 year. The simulation showed that the water table 8,000 feet away at the eastern edge of Waterford was impacted by a drop of 16 feet. There are 5 locations proposed for community wells, the Peony Springs Waterford Joint Water Wastewater Program. The extraction rate for these wells is roughly 20 to 30 times higher than the Crest of Waterford. There's equivalent of, and I was showing overlays of 8,000 foot radius from each of these 5 wells at the 20 to 30 times higher extraction rate. So I also wanted to bring to mind a map that was showing dozens of dry wells in the area. There are some initial ideas for Loudoun Water to consider, though the time constraints prevent further discussion at this point. Thank you. If you have any questions, I might have a couple of minutes left.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And
Okay.
we will take that under consideration and discuss it thoroughly. I can guarantee you that. So thank you so
Okay.
much. And if you want to come in next month and give us another 3 minutes, that's fine too.
Thank you.
Okay. And we will, you said you sent in your presentation? Okay, so we'll make sure all the board members receive that. Thank you. All right, adoption of the agenda. I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Board committee action, CIP, Mr. Sultan.
Thank you. Excited that we have the design task order phase 2. The recent addition of the JLMA to central service area, as well as growth within the existing central service area, has triggered the need to advance expansion of the Trap Rock Water Treatment Facility. Staff has selected CDM Smith to perform the necessary design services for $2,281,647 with a 5% contingency, for a total authorized budget of $2,400,000.
Thank you.
The committee forwarded this item to the November 13th board item consent agenda.
The only other items were there was a construction quarterly report, which I believe is on the agenda today. The main item on it was a major completion date for Broad Run on July 25th. We also had a capital spending report where spending was 91% of forecast. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Sultan. Mr. Kelly, Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met on October 22nd. Unfortunately, we did not have a quorum. I was remote and Mr. Buffington was not able to make the meeting. But we did review, we had a couple of items to review. The agenda was approved as presented. Sally Deller gave a great overview, very detailed review of the proposed operating budget, which will be presented in December's board meeting. I won't go through that and steal her thunder for December, but the staff recommended the committee forward the item to the board to approve the 2026 operating budget as presented and forward the budget to the board for approval in December. I placed I asked that the item be placed on the December 11th board agenda as an action item. And then we reviewed, annually we do this, we do a review of the write-off of the uncollected amounts, which amounted this year to $19,093.43. That represents 0.02% of the approximately $126 million total operating revenues or service charges in 2024. That also is on the agenda today, this meeting. Staff recommended the committee forward the item to the board to authorize the write-off attached uncollectible utility billing accounts with outstanding balances greater than $100 for a total, as I mentioned, of $19,000. And that is on the board action agenda today. And then we had our typical monthly informational items, financial summary, and so forth. And we'll go over those a little later in the agenda. And that was our meeting, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Mr. Kelly, for that handy, whatever. Thank you. Action agenda, consent. Someone make a motion to approve the consent.
Make a
agenda.
motion that we approve. the
Second.
consent
And all
agenda.
those in favor?
Aye.
Action item. This is what I wanted to get to so bad. Sally Deller, she's going to do a quick, are we just voting on it or are we going to presentation on it? Sally here? Oh, there she is.
Yes, good afternoon. There's not a presentation, but there is a summary
Okay.
of the accounts. It is a lot less than in prior years, as Mr. Kelly just said. So all collection of efforts have been exhausted for these, and the total is 19,093.43. And here's a listing on the next page of the accounts. If you wanted to see, there's just one page this year, so.
All right, so we just need the motion.
Mhm.
Glad to make a motion, Chair. I move the board authorize the write-off of the attached uncollectible utility billing accounts with outstanding balances greater than $100 for a total amount of $19,093.43.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Just like that, we're gone. All right. New business, none. Information items, none. Monthly reports. Sally?
Yes, the September financials that we reviewed at the Finance Committee. Operating revenues total 108 million, which is above the forecast of 97.3 million. Non-operating revenues total 96.9 million, which is above the forecast of 33 million. So those are those two blue lines there. And then if we move down to expenses, we are 7 million below forecast for expenses. Here's our ERC totals, which Brian just updated those numbers through the month. And then here's the blue is the percentage of data centers that Brian just mentioned. And then here's the capital spending percentage as of September.
Right.
Any questions?
Do you have any questions? Pretty straightforward. Just keep humming along. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you.
Water resource. Jessica.
Yes, I'll be happy to answer any questions about the Central System Water Resources Report. I can go through the
Do you have any
slides really
questions for the
quickly.
water resource?
Do you want questions on the groundwater resources management piece, or will that come later?
That'll come later.
That's
Okay,
Next
thank you.
one.
I'll hold.
All right. We'll cue that up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. water and sewer agreements by We-Tran.
Groundwater.
Oh,
There's
wait. I'm really struggling today. I'm sorry. I apologize.
There's two, the ground.
All right. It's all green. All right, Kinsey.
Yep, and I'm happy to address any questions for the groundwater resources report. Wanted to note that we're green or normal for all systems with Raspberry Sama and local precipitation still being under the watch.
Did you add a new monitoring well graph? I can't,
I did.
okay.
So first off, precipitation is down for the year. We are well aware of that. And that's exacerbated through the multi-year drought we've had. I've added this slide or brought it forward in the presentation, just show you that how, I don't know, dynamic the Raspberry Sama system is. It's about 2.5 miles long. As you know, we've had high rain intensity events that have been scattered. So it's not unusual for part of the system to get rain, the other system not. So usually we've been focusing on that well down in Raspberry, but this time I'm highlighting 2 wells in Selma, the red boxes around the production well, as well as the monitoring well. And in the next slide, I wanted to show you kind of the relationship we look at as we kind of determine the normal versus watch mode. The upper one is that local monitoring well. You can see how it responds to the rain event. It increased, but then it dipped down over time with usage. But in the bottom, our production well resting level has remained flat and constant. So we can say that, that source is strong right now, and we continue to track it. Naturally, that does relate to water usage out there. We are declining for the season, which is great. We're going to winter usage, and we continue to have a message of conservation to the public, but there is no known, effects to the system or issues.
Can you back up one slide?
Yep.
So is that correct when I'm reading that they actually have reduced their water consumption?
They have.
Okay. And do we think it's directly, is it a weather event? Did we get more cloudy days so they didn't have to water their yards, or do you think it's a result of,
We believe it's
our
a mixture of our messaging that helps a lot, as well as a lot of the landscapes becoming mature and people aren't chasing it as much. New systems do have a lot of watering that people kind of hope to keep their landscape alive and going. Once it gets established, they can be a little less active on it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I've got a question, and I think this is the right spot for it, Chair.
Sure.
In the past, we used to get the reports, and I know there were monitoring well indicators for areas that weren't located as part of our community systems. They were elsewhere in the rural area, and we don't get that information anymore, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
So the question I have is, that seemed to be a good indicator. You could flip through the sheets and go, for this particular time period, you're red, green, yellow. And if you were red for a sustained period of time, you would be like, well, that's cause for concern. But then we might have precipitation events and the indicator would go green again. So 2 questions. One is, why do you feel that we don't need that information anymore? Because the alternative is just this information about our 5 or so community systems. And the indicators that we're hearing about from the community are groundwater, concerns about groundwater in the rural area, which is a broader topic than just the geography of our community systems. So can you give me a good answer on that or something like that?
So the original groundwater water resource report, we used the USGS wells. I believe there's 2 of them. One was Aldi, one was in Western Loudon. They were relatively shallow wells that weren't really very representative of our systems. And so we thought since they were so shallow, they represented surface water more than that. And so we thought it was a little confusing. As we said, those were red or stayed red and our systems were still green. We're hoping to correlate maybe our monitoring wells to our systems a little bit better.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I would just say for my colleagues that that could be construed as a myopic look. That yes, obviously we have to be concerned about the function of our community systems and what we see for recharge and what we see for usage and all of that. But there's a bigger picture issue out there that relates to not just our community systems, but all those folks that rely on wells in the western area of the county, including, and probably more importantly, the towns. So is there a way that you could just think about indicators or information that we could get access to that would be helpful for the bigger picture? In addition to the reporting that you do for the community systems, that's very helpful.
Yeah, I think we explore options.
Okay.
Bring something forward.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No,
Appreciate
no,
that, Chair.
it's a really good point, especially in light of our, our speaker that we had today. I assume Percival and Hillsborough, and they have monitoring wells there as well? Or we don't know?
I'm not sure. We can see if they have a published report.
Okay.
But outside of that, we're not plugged in.
And if they, Mr. Buffington?
Yeah, I was just going to follow on kind of along the track that you both are going. I would bet that the towns would be willing to share information with you all so we can track it better with where the towns are at. And then another thought that I just had as Mr. Yoder was speaking was I would bet also with this being such a big issue in the rural part of the county right now, that if we talk to the county, they would probably be willing to pay for some wells on some sites throughout Western Loudoun that they own, parks and different sites and properties, and then share that information with us for the sole purpose of monitoring that water.
It's data collection, that's it.
Yeah, and I'm sure Loudoun County would have no problem paying for that. It's a drop in the bucket. I don't know how many we would need, but just the idea in general, without
Well,
objection.
I mean, the town should have that data. They could just share
Yeah.
it with us too. That would be a good start. Mr.
Yeah, that would be a good start. And then I think the idea in general of getting some more wells on property, county-owned properties throughout more parts of the rural Western Loudoun County would be a good idea. So I guess without objection, if I could tell staff to maybe engage with the county on that in their talks to see if that's something the county would be interested in.
No, I think it's a reasonable request.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bonnefield?
Yeah, thank you. There are a number of, the county has a number of wells at the different parks around the county. If they want to give you that data, I don't know how well they monitor them, but it wouldn't take much to monitor them. But I'm concerned that if we start doing reports on countywide groundwater, then we're going to be kind of, people will be looking to us to be responsible for this information, as well as being responsible if the wells drop below a certain level. And that's I was going to use the word slippery slope, but yeah, that is a slippery slope, I think. So we need to be cautious about this. Is just information. We're not making the determination.
No, I think that's a good point. And I think ultimately the county is the one that makes these decisions and, and we follow their lead. So
Right.
That's a good point.
And we don't have authority beyond
Correct.
where we are now. And there are people that, would like to see us do more, and there are others that would like to see us do less.
All right. Mr. Vega, then I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I just have one more comment. I appreciate you clarifying and differentiating the criteria of the USGS wells versus our own wells for our community systems. And if you could kindly remind us of that so that we're not making assumptions, that's very much appreciated.
Mr. Buffington?
I just wanted to add, after Mr. Bonfil's comments, that I'm not in disagreement with you at all on that. I think the county should own that information. If they want to share it with us, that's great. They can share it with us on a monthly, quarterly, whatever basis, something to that effect. Just throwing out ideas, but I do think someone needs to better monitor groundwater throughout Western Loudoun County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kinsey. Okay, so we're done with the monthly reports, quarterly reports. No, excuse me, one more, water and sewer agreements by we.
Good afternoon, board. October's board report was a pretty standard operating business. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer?
I don't have anything. Mr. Vega? All right. Thank you, Look, quarterly reports, the BOA quarterly report from Savita. Does anyone have any questions for her? All right. Capital construction, Mr. Flores.
Thank you and good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Nathan, I'll just let you know when to flip slides. I think it should work. Oh, didn't realize we had a clicker. Okay, so today we'll be presenting on construction progress through the third quarter of 2025. We'll be highlighting Trap Rock generator installation as well as Dulles South water booster pump station upgrades, followed by a deeper dive into Milestone in the quarterly status report. This project is being built by Hammerhead Construction. Staff reports it's currently proceeding on schedule and within our budget, and completion is expected in May of 2026, as per the contractual timeframes. Dulles South, built by WGK Construction. At the end of the third quarter, we reported that a minor delay was possible due to some startup and commissioning woes that we're experiencing, namely contractors having trouble getting his plan approved for this one for that startup and commissioning. And earlier this week, they did exceed their contractual substantial completion date. So we'll be looking at potentially minor delays still for this project. Staff reports that completion is expected within the end of the year.
Sam, what are the delays in approvals? Is that with Loudoun County or with the state or what?
I don't know that we have any regulatory drivers on this one that would factor in. Kinsey, I don't know if you have any information to help out on this one, but I think that's right.
So it's just Loudoun County?
It's just really us. And, we got to square up LDs with the contractor when it's all said and done. But
Okay.
other than that,
Thank you.
Milestone Reservoir and Pump Station is proceeding still a little bit ahead of schedule by a couple of months. The completed work includes, and I am having trouble reading the slide from the cheap seat, so excavation and lining of all tunnels, installation of the 42-inch raw water pipe, and actually the bridge over Circlin Creek as of today is pretty much almost complete as well. So happy to report that. Ongoing work, installation of additional utilities and construction of the pump station structure. At the end of the third quarter, we reported an increase in the change order total, which reflects a usage of our contingency around the 40 to 45% mark. We were at $3 million at the end of the third quarter. Today, I can report that the offsetting credit change order has now been executed. So at the end of the fourth quarter, you'll see that total change order or the change order total come back down to around $1 million, which reflects sort of where we were before that big change order was issued on the third quarter. So happy to report that as well. Any questions on Milestone before I?
Yeah, I have a couple. So if you go back 2 slides, is that actually the building that's being constructed there?
That's actually part of the slab, and because of the magnitude of this pump station, it really reflects probably one area. I believe we might be looking at, I want to say portions of the control and electrical room, but probably don't quote me. I can't quite see it very well from here. But yes, this is part of the slab for the main construction footprint for the pump station.
And that's all rebar?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I had the same question. I look at that and said, my gosh, shades of Trap Rock again.
It
with all that rebar.
Looks like they're building a bridge over the river.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one, is that the shaft that goes down?
So the shaft has already obviously been mined. You all have taken a trip down to it as part of the tours that we've done. This is part of the liner that'll be built to support the shaft before we start getting into process mechanical installation of the pumps, et cetera. So this is actually the very bottom of the shaft, and the formwork really for the first lift of that 2-foot thick concrete liner that'll support the full diameter of the shaft from top to bottom.
So the pour will be between that form and the rock wall behind it?
That's right.
See how smart I am? All right, super, thanks.
Not much to elaborate on this slide. Maybe, you sort of get a sense of how large the construction administration effort with those 350 RFIs and over 1,000 submittal reviews completed at this point. We're still expecting that commissioning coordination with TRAP and some of the other facilities to start around the third quarter of 2027. So, within the next 2 years. And then, no critical path impacts, no major delays reported, exchange orders executed. And that brings me to the active construction projects, sort of a recap of where we were at the end of the third quarter. Today, I can report, and that will be reflected on the fourth quarter report, that at this point, both the Lansdowne SPS reliability upgrades and the Broad Run lab HVAC replacement project have achieved substantial completion in the fourth quarter. So you'll see that sort of better lined up in the fourth quarter report there. But generally, still within that sort of sub 2% change order figure that we are used to seeing now for our projects. I'm happy to take any questions from the board on this.
So when I look at that, other than the projects that are in the 90 percentile, we only have 3 active projects, right?
Yes. Well, the substantially completed projects will take a little bit of time. Hopefully, those 30 months that are allocated in those contracts to achieve final completion. But yes, at the end of the fourth quarter, we will have presumably 3 active projects. Maybe 4, depending on how we do with some issues that we're working through on the Broad Run side of things on the first package of phase 3. So, Alton, I don't know if you want to elaborate on.
I did have one note. We do have a number of projects in construction that are what I would refer to as hybrid projects for the JLMA that are being constructed by developers, but in a hybrid fashion with oversight by Loudon Water. So I just didn't want that to get lost in the mix here.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions for Mr. Flores? All right.
And I guess, Mr. Chairman, here's the list of upcoming projects. So, we hope to come out of the gate strong on 2026 and add some more activity here.
Good. We want to make sure you're still busy.
We'll be around.
All right. Thank you. Land Development Activity Quarterly Report by Hui Tran. Does anyone have any questions on the land activity report? Okay. Are we catching up?
Yes, I'll go ahead and cover that. So the first page is with the ERCs, and Sally's covered that, the ERCs in her financial report. So on the second page, what I'd like to draw your attention to is on the new plan submissions, we're at 97 for the year. I think at the last board meeting that I covered, we talked about the large influx of plans that came in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of the year. As you can see from that table, we've had kind of a more normal quarter for the last quarter. And then in the plans approved, you can see that we've already exceeded the last year's totals. Nathan, can you pan down a little bit?
Lish?
Yeah, thank you. No, just at the same table.
I got a question, if it's the right time for a question.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at page 2 of 2, and underneath this data, the way you've been showing it to us, which is helpful. There is a submission of documents that the Loudon Water staff need to review. And it's the construction plans, it's the developers' plans for water and sewer and how they propose to connect to various places, manhole locations, pump stations, all that type of infrastructure, water and sewer infrastructure. And you submit a plan and then you have a period of time for review, and then you receive comments, and then you resubmit and have a period of review. So there's a track in here where it's not just the discrete plan submission, it's multiple reviews of a plan that your staff has to work on. And I raised it because I think in a couple prior meetings, I've raised the point that we're hearing from the affordable housing, the attainable housing developers and those that are involved in that sector, that they want an expedited process. I believe they've obtained or reached an expedited process with the county, and they want the same type of thing with Loudon Water. And so I raised that because the first comment about multiple submissions, they're labor intensive for this organization. And having another group expect you to go quickly and review quickly, turn around quickly, is another set of demands on the staff. And so it's very hard to see from this data. And I don't know that we all really need to see it because we rely on your updates. In the budget discussion that we started at Finance, it was acknowledged that if you need additional staff, now's a good time to say, hey, I need some more resources. So I don't think I'm asking a particular question, but I'm just saying there's more to it than what you see in those graphics. And the more to it is there's multiple submissions of plans, and there's a group that wants the plan sooner rather than later. And that's an impact on you, and that's an impact on everybody else who has plans in under review. I think maybe a resource discussion is in order, just to make sure that you have enough staff. I also say that goes for whatever other sector of the organization that might be feeling the pinch. So I don't think I'm asking a specific question, Chair, but I really am continuing to bring that up because I think we may need to get into it. If not right now, maybe at some point moving forward.
No, you make a good point. I mean, it's not easy to just staff up. It doesn't happen instantaneously. So I think you need to be forward thinking and plan for the future. So that's a really good point.
Mr. Chairman, one last question.
Sure.
Do we track resubmission of plans, or is it just the initial?
Yes, we track that, and I can kind of go through the report a little bit with you. Before I leave this page, I just want to kind of mention that here in this third table where we have plans approved, that's where I was saying that through the third quarter, we've exceeded all of our output for last year. And so if you look at the plans approved at 96 and then the new plan submissions, 97, the input or the output is keeping up with the input through the year to date. So, and then as we go down to the maps, this is first submissions, and this breaks down the development type, the type of plans that are coming in that we're seeing for the first submissions. And if we go down to here to this next page, these are the construction permits. These are the type of projects that are pulling the construction permits in that quarter. And then this last table here, this tracks all submissions, to your point, Mr. Yudd, and it kind of breaks down a little bit of this is first submissions and these are resubmissions. And so, yes, the vast majority of our workload are resubmissions.
And okay, those resubmission could be any number, like fifth or sixth. We have that with other.
Correct. And we have, that data, but this is also a breakdown of the type of developments based on those submissions in the graph above.
Mr. Yudd's question, do we have openings? I think we do have openings last I heard. So we're trying to fill spots and.
Yeah, we do. We certainly have openings, and I think much like others in the area, we found it with our counterparts that engineers, particularly land development, are tough to to bring to this or these types of organizations. However, we're beating down doors. We do have an offer out for an individual. We're waiting to hear back, hopefully hear back today or tomorrow. But I know that the land development group is being very creative on are there other ways that we can help, whether it's administratively, what have you. And that's one of the positions that we actually just approved today was another admin person to kind of help, kind of be liaison between those groups coming in to kind of herd them and shepherd them through the process. So we're well aware where we hear you loud and clear. And we're certainly doing our best to attract and retain our talent that we have.
How many openings do we have at the moment? Do you know?
For land development group, one, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, just one?
Yeah. But we did have
we
one for.
recently filled one of our plan review positions, and we're imminent on filling that other open vacancy right now. And the point Tom just made, we are also filling administrative vacancies in the department to help with things like processing construction permits and really helping drive efficiencies within the plan review team so they can focus on that, and we can, meet the expectations of developers and consultants.
So we've got one opening for a plan reviewer and then another opening or two for administrative help?
Correct. And then
So
we have,
like three,
we
something
have
like,
budgeted for another plan review position in 2026.
okay, so then we'll look to add another. And does that feel, to Mr. Yudd's point, does that feel comfortable that we've got enough horsepower to turn things around and all of this?
It does, but it's something that we're going to continue to monitor closely.
Sure. Okay, good.
Mr. Buffington?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back to the graph here, just looking at the development type summary. And can you give some examples of the other or miscellaneous development types that we're dealing with?
Sure. So the other miscellaneous tend to be infrastructure like roads and, sidewalk projects. And those still, we review because they impact or may impact our water or sewer lines. So those are, what we categorize miscellaneous. Sometimes those are schools, infrastructure projects, those substations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Sultan?
Are these resubmissions of the same nature, the same type of thing causing the resubmissions? In other words, could you, if that's the case, could you educate the people putting in plans to lessen the resubmissions? I don't know if that's, you understand what I'm saying?
Not quite, Mr. Sultan.
One would hope,
In other words, is it the same type of thing? They left out ABC when they should have known ahead of time that they should put ABC in, or that type of thing? Are these resubmissions similar?
I think sometimes a lot of times the resubmissions depends on the quality of the plans that come in and depends on the consultant that's submitting the plans. Other times the resubmissions come in because we made comments on a previous submission that they have to address and they have to resubmit it to us for re-review.
As my thought was, if they were similar, you could hold some kind of education for the people putting plans in to lessen the resubmissions, which in effect lessens what our staff has to do.
Yes, and in fact, we did hold a forum for the development industry this year to kind of help educate and provide tips and to the development industry.
Yes, and I think that was very helpful as presented. I think it's commonly made flaws or in the plan sets, and that is very helpful to industry. Hopefully they are embracing those and addressing those prior to submit and rereading those prior to resubmitting the plans. I know you have an industry outreach meeting next Tuesday, if I'm not correct, but it would be a good forum to maybe refresh them of these are the commonly made mistakes and that we end up wasting a submission because industry is not hearing them often enough. And so they keep repeating themselves. And I think that's what you're trying to avoid.
Right.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
That's our last slide.
Yes.
All right, any questions for we? All right, thank you. I hope you don't think we're picking on you. Okay. Operation and maintenance from Kendra. It's all green, right?
Yes, no
Look at that.
no reported issues. So.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
All right, safety results. This is always the toughest report of the quarter. Mr. Shunta.
Relatively quiet quarter, and certainly happy to entertain any questions,
I saw a twisted ankle on that report. All right.
unfortunately.
Okay. Clean as usual. There's no closed session today. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I want to I want to again compliment the whole organization on the safety record.
Oh,
My,
yeah.
my boy's been working on a stonemasonry crew and long story short, there was a lot of things happening there and some of the old timers are, hey, this is how we do it. Been doing it this way for 30 years and all this. Fingers are getting sawed, nails are going through hands, all of this. So I was like, my boy's not going to lose a digit, because we're, just the amount and complexity of projects we have to have a safety record like this is just fantastic. So kudos to everybody on that.
Thank you. All right. Back to a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.